Hey guys, Miranda. I am going to do a tutorial on how to apply your mermaid scales on a 30 ounce. Okay, this is a Maker's Mark 30 ounce cup from Sam's Club. Got some really good deals on those at Sam's Club. I like it. There's no logo or anything, which is the part that I like because I can put my logo on the bottom. I always put my logo on the bottom. This says Members Mark, or I'm sorry, Members Mark, not Maker's Mark, on the bottom, but usually it gets covered up by the paint or whatever. Okay, so you've already cut out your scales. I will yeah, sorry. I can post a link in the comments or in the description for the 30 ounce and for the 20 ounce. There are different sizes. Like these ones are the bottom. Okay. And then these ones are the top. So you can see slight difference in the size. I did want to show you guys really quick, when you're weeding out your scales, it's kind of a pain in the butt because each piece is separate. So this might end up lasting a while, this tutorial. So if you guys, get what you need after the first few minutes, cool. If not, then you can always come back. But it does take a while because they go on like individually. But when you're weeding them out, easiest way is go from the bottom corner up. Sometimes you get the ones that don't want to come up and you can just grab it and make it come off. But as long as you're coming from the bottom up, usually they'll come right off. I'm sorry, I'm doing this backwards, so it's kind of a little bit difficult. But basically, if you go from the bottom up and you go upwards like this, it'll pull the top circle out and leave you just the scale. I am using just plain vinyl. I use FDC, I think it's 3700. I get it from Nova Rhinestone Depot here in Houston area, and I buy it wholesale with my tax exempt resale certificate and all that stuff. Which, if you guys have any questions on how to get all of that, if you're trying to start a business, then definitely ask me. I have no problem giving you guys instruction on how to go about that. It is not as expensive as everybody says it is, and it's not as expensive as people make it out to be. Whenever you Google it, you'll come up with like all these businesses that will do it all for you for like 4 times the price. I did it all myself, and I have my tax EIN, I have my resale certificate, I have my Texas business license, my Montgomery County, I'm in Spring, Texas, so my Montgomery County, DBA. I just started at the bottom with the DBA and I just worked my way up and got all the different licensing and everything else because I want to make sure that I'm compliant with everything, being that I do ship internationally and I ship to all the different states and all of that stuff, and I don't want to violate anything because I'm a small business and I still do it out of my garage, and the last thing I need is some crazy lawsuit or something, or getting charged a bunch of money. I do pay taxes through my business. I'm getting comfortable here because it's going to take a bit, but I do pay taxes for my business. I pay the Texas taxes and all that fun stuff. I started doing that last year after I made enough to have to pay taxes, which is amazing, and you guys can too. It's all about the willpower and the determination. So we are going to start off with our big ones, the top, and in the file it shows top and bottom. Okay, and basically, depending on how you want to do it, you can use a pair of tweezers. I do a lot of times, and we're just going to place them individually. So I'm going to turn my little thing here so you guys can kind of see how we're doing this. And we just peel them off. Okay, you have it in your hand, and you're going to start. Sorry. I guess I should, let me move my camera here a little bit. Hold on. Okay. You guys aren't going to be able to see me, but you can hear me. So, you have your scale. If you're doing this at the same time I am, then you guys take your one scale, and we're just going to start it at the very top here. We're going to do stainless underneath. And you're just going to lay it on there. If it gets kind of off-center, just kind of slide it around with your hand. Not a big deal. Okay. And take your second scale, and you're going to place it side by side right there on the next one. Okay, right next to it. And hold it. Like I said, sometimes you have to sit there and play with it to make sure it goes on in the right spot. Okay. And the next one. Okay. And we're just gonna keep going all the way around the top until you get to the next, or until you get to the other side. This is one of those, like, sit in front of the TV and watch your favorite movie type deals and just sit and put scales on. I did it a lot when the Mermaid stuff was really, really popular. It still is. I still love doing Mermaid. I'm actually working on a unicorn geo tumbler right now, a 20 ounce. I haven't done very many geodes, but they're fun because you never know what it's going to come out looking like. And if it comes out okay, then I'll do a tutorial on it, on how I got it. But it is really a cool look. Okay. If you guys are doing this at the same time, you'll see that they're just laying on next to each other. I actually have had this tutorial requested a few times, and I kept meaning to do it, and I kept forgetting, and I feel bad, and I'm sorry to anybody else who asked for it, but I had someone actually message me about this specific thing and how I apply the scales. And so I told her I would do one tonight. So that's what I'm doing. I have a bit of insomnia. My body still has not completely gotten used to, even after 4 years, it's still not completely used to being in recovery because, you know, doing meth, well, not everybody knows, obviously. But meth is an amphetamine, which is a a stimulant, and so I would be up for weeks at a time, literally not joking you, I think 13 days was the longest I stayed up. And your body is up, or your mind is going, but your body will literally take cat naps and you don't even realize it. It's weird. I've learned a lot since getting clean. I did a lot of research on it. And so some nights I have trouble going to sleep, and so that's usually when I'm making these tutorials for you guys, is whenever I cannot sleep. I've had my husband come down here a couple times going, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, myself and all the people that are going to watch this tomorrow. Yeah. He thinks sometimes I'm still crazy, but I promise him I'm not. Now, you can always put these on in lines, but the likelihood of them not being straight and you having like funky little areas, I'll show you. Let me see here. Where is it? Ah, there we go. Right there, how there's like, it's off. That's kind of what happens whenever you put them on in lines. But you can, if you want to. You can, I'll show you guys real quick how you can do it in a few at a time. I don't necessarily do it, but so you're gonna lay your one very, 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 very little bit over the other one. Just not very much at all, but enough for you to pick up this side and pull them off into two. Okay, but since I started doing this where there's not overlaps, it may end up coming out uneven, but we'll see. Okay, so we're about done with our first line here. And as you can see, the scale file that I use is for the this brand, and also I believe that it works on the Yeti size, and then or the Yeti 30 ounce is the same size, and also I think the Ozark possibly. But you can always take your, like I have a sewing measuring tape here, and you can take it and you can wrap it around the top like this, and it'll tell you how long it is. It's 12.5 around. Okay, and then you can go and you can, like my scales are, let's see, about 3/4 of an inch. Okay, from the outside, actually about 1 inch from the outside to the outside of each scale is about 1 inch on the, around the top, that is. And then you do the same for the bottom, and you can make sure that your scales are gonna match up the right way. Okay, so that just took roughly 10 minutes to do. And I'm doing it slowly. I can do it a lot faster, but I'm trying to do it slower so that you guys can, you know, move along with me. Now, when you go to do this, you're going to find the middle of one of the scales, okay, just like that, and you're going to lay it and set it to where it hits the middle of the next scale. So, hold on here. And again, all I'm doing is I'm just pushing it around with my finger, and because of the vinyl, it moves with it. Now, sometimes you do end up with a little bit of residue from the vinyl if you leave it on there too long and stuff, but I paint over mine, and you know, you can paint over it, you can glitter over it, whatever you choose to do. It's really up to you. This one, I think I'm going to Loctite glitter over it. Honestly, the one thing I haven't tried is actually epoxying over the stencil, which I really would rather not do because I'm afraid that, like, they get stuck. So, and then we're going to go right next to that one. Just like you did at the top. Okay? And you're just going to go all the way around again. Same way. Okay, and all the way around, and just keep going around and around and around and around until you finish. People don't realize how much it takes, how much we put into these mermaid cups. They think that it's just some design that we can wrap around the whole cup in one shot. Nope. Nope, it doesn't work that way. But that's okay. I like doing mermaid cups. I like doing the scales. I like doing the different colors. I think it's amazing. Hey guys. Okay, so my apologies, but I had to take the original scales from the first part of this video off and redo them because I forgot to glitter it underneath because I wanted my scales to be black. So I took them off and I re-put the scales on, but just like in the first part of the video, the way that the scales go on, it's the same way all the way down, okay? And the link to the scales are in the description, and the scales do get smaller as they go down, okay? Sorry, my little niece is over here peeking. Anyways, so I'm going to show you how I apply the glitter over the scales with Loctite. This cup specifically is going to be kind of a swirl of the glitter, so there's no specific pattern. She's trying to tell y'all something. There's no specific pattern on the way that it goes onto the cup. But we have, hold on, where did I just set the Loctite at? Oh, excuse me. Alright, so this cup is going to be black glitter underneath. You can see it's kind of iridescent. I mixed a bunch of glitters together to get that underneath. You can see more on the bottom, the way that it looks. To get that glitter color underneath, I used colors that I used for you to see. Okay, so I used Ebony from Recollections. I used Bling from Recollections. I also used the iridescent black extra chunky glitter from Recollections. I also used the Mixed Mermaid chunky. It's the smaller chunks from Recollection. I used, the key is to use all the iridescent colors. So you got bubblegum, and you also have fairy. And there was one other color that I used. Oh, this one is just Craftology. There's grape. Okay, and I kind of just mixed them together and kept, you know, the big super chunky ones and this one and the mermaid color. I just kind of mixed all together on a plate and then just kind of tossed it on there in an even fashion, and then I just kept sprinkling all the other iridescent colors onto it as well. And then I epoxied it, sanded it, and now you got that. Okay? Like I said, the key is to use the iridescent colors because then they shine through as far as the scales, because you want your scales to obviously stand out. So, here we are now with all our scales put on. It did take me about with Crazy Munchkins running around, it took me about 4 hours. But that's only because she kept wanting to play with the scales. So as you can see, mine were 2 different colors because I had to recut them because she wanted to wrinkle them. Anyways, so normally it'll probably take, first time you do it, it'll probably take you a good 2 hours. So just be prepared. But I didn't want to make a 2-hour long video of me boringly putting on scales because I just sat in front of my TV and watched all my episodes that I've DVR'd and I haven't watched. I don't usually watch TV very often except when I'm sick or when I'm going to bed. So now we're going to use Loctite spray and get it for like $5.50 or $5.68 at Walmart. And then the colors I'm going to use for this is Muse from Recollections. I don't usually use Recollection glitter. Usually I just use the Artful Minds or the Craft Solon glitter from Walmart or whatever, but for this specific cup, the colors are going to really need to have that different color variation because it's you know, darker style mermaid cup. Anyways, I'm going to use Paradise from Recollections. I'm using Peacock from Recollections. And then again, Bubblegum and Fairy from Recollections, the iridescent colors. And I'm also using a little bit of Bling from Recollections, as well as, again, it seems like a lot of colors, but they don't all look like a fat mess when it's done, I promise. Frost from Recollections. And those are all at Hobby Lobby. Right now they have 40% off and 50% off coupons, so hit it up while you can. And then I'm also using Blue Jeans. It's another iridescent color. It's from Hobby Lobby. It's the Treehouse. It's like their brand or whatever, Hobby Lobby brand. And then I may throw in a little bit more Mermaid Chunky. Not sure yet. As well as the grape. And you can get the Creatology glitter also at Michael's. Okay, so we're going to start off with, and I'm not really going to use plates on this one. Some of them I might, but most of them I won't, because it's kind of hard to mix them the way I'm going to spiral them if I'm trying to use plates. But because the Loctite glue dries really fast, I'm just going to spray it piece by piece. And it'll also help with the way that it'll swirl as well. So you're going to start off with your, sorry, I have to think about that, with your lighter colors. You can also start off with your darker ones, but just understand that it's harder to cover up the dark areas if you get it in a spot where you don't want it. So I start off with the light ones, then go to the dark, and then tap on the light if I need to go back. So I'm going to spray it in kind of a swirled motion, okay? Okay, just swirling like that, and then we're gonna start off with the we're gonna go with the Paradise, and we're just gonna kind of go in a swirled motion. And it'll fall off onto the plate. I have just little paper plates, but it'll fall off onto the plate wherever you didn't spray this Loctite at. Okay. Now, mind you, when you respray the Loctite over it, it's gonna dull the glitter. That's okay, because when we go to epoxy it, after we've sprayed the sealer on it and stuff, which the sealer will also make it very dull. Don't worry about that, okay? It'll not shine when you put sealer on it. It won't. I've never seen it shine. It doesn't matter if you use the glitter sealer or anything like that. It's not gonna shine the way you want it to when it's sealed. When you go to epoxy it, which we'll cover later, you're gonna put some, I usually use the iridescent like white color, it's fabric glitter, tulip fabric glitter, but it's almost clear, but it's got like an iridescent shine to it. I don't know if you can see that. Or you can also use this kind as well. It's just holographic embossing glitter. And you just tap some of that in your epoxy final coat, and then it'll bring all that glitter shine back up, okay? Now, we're gonna go again, but in the opposite direction with the swirl, okay? Be sure to spray it away from your plate, because if you put it on your plate, all that glitter you just tried to save is not gonna save. And now we're gonna go with some purple. It is Fairy. Again, with these lighter colors in the beginning, you can go ahead and use your plates, because they're only going to go wherever you sprayed that Loctite. I want a little bit more. Okay. Again, just spraying in different directions, different patterns. going to throw some of this blue jeans is what it's called from Hobby Lobby. Throw some of that on there. And I'm just kind of going in like almost like a zigzag. You're skating? Huh? Yeah.
Mom.
Nope, I'm not Mom. Sorry guys, talking to her here. To get my glitter back in my thing, I just kind of fold my plate, because then I can turn around and use this for the darker, for like the purple and stuff like that, because it's pretty close to the color, so it doesn't, it's not going to hurt it at all. Okay. Now we're just going to spray it all over the cup, okay? Because we're going to put some pink iridescent and a little bit of bling too. Bubble gum. And just sprinkle it where you want it. You don't have to do the whole cup. I just want it in blotches is the way I want it to look, because I want it to look like it's spiraled. Okay. Now, going to tap a little bit of bling on there. Just grab a little bit more Loctite and just kind of quick little squirts. Quick little squirts. Okay, you don't want to do it too close or you're going to get a whole cup full of bling, because it is very covering, I guess you could say. I think it covers it all really well. So a good way to do it is just to tip it up upside down like this, and it'll just all kind of fall. Okay. You don't want to put too much on. You still want to be able to see your scales, because if you can't see your scales, then it's a pain in the butt, and then you're pulling off glitter instead. Because after this, we are going to seal it with a little bit of matte sealer, matte finish sealer, as well as some clear gloss sealer. Again, matte and then clear gloss. We're going to go back and forth with the sealer. The matte tends to hold it together really well, where the gloss tends to make it hard, so that it doesn't all fall off on you. I do not use Mod Podge for this, guys. Don't like it. Takes, if you get too much on there, if you get too much Mod Podge on there, and then you try and peel the scales off, then all the glitter comes off with it, because the Mod Podge is holding it on. Also, another reason why I don't use Mod Podge is to put my glitter on. It doesn't go on in even enough patterns, I guess you could call them. Texture. If you get it too clumpy in one spot, then you get this blob. not for me. I use Loctite or epoxy for my glue. Except when I do my pencil cut and stuff like that, like the ones with separate areas, then I'll use Mod Podge just to harden it, but it just takes longer. So it's kind of frustrating pain in the butt. Okay, where are we at here? What have we not used? Oh, the darker purple. Let's add a little bit of that. We're gonna just do quick squirts, okay? And I'm gonna do it more in the areas that don't have as much glitter. I also like Loctite because it does dry quicker, so the glitter is not like all falling off. And when you're continuing to use the Loctite, like each time you put it on there, it's grabbing all that glitter together more and more. Again, I'm just gonna tap, okay? Tap. I don't want a whole lot of the purple. It will cover up all that lighter color that I wanted to use. So, just tapping it. Okay, and I'm gonna go back over it with my iridescent colors, so Frost, Bubblegum, and Fairy. And go back over it with those. Because I really like the way they color. Actually, I kind of mixed my Frost or my Fairy and my Bubblegum together, and it made kind of a cool color. So I'm gonna use that on here to finish it off. I'm gonna spray the whole cut. The Loctite, you also don't have to use as much glitter, which is good. And we're just gonna sprinkle all the way around the cut. And I am gonna finish off with a little bit of, or with the blue, the Frost. No, actually, I think I'm gonna finish off with the Peacock. And when I do the Peacock right now, I'm gonna do in a swirling pattern again, okay? I'm gonna do a little bit more Paradise. I'm just shaking it. And the Frost is really, really translucent, so you can see through it. So I'm just gonna kind of shake little bits all the way around now. Far enough away where there's not a whole lot hitting my cup. Chicken. Alright, so this is what we come out with. I don't really like that whole like really long swoop right there, so I'm just gonna go back over it with this purple and bubblegum and shake it off, because I haven't resprayed. I didn't respray just now, so it's only getting those parts that are still got Loctite on them. So as you can see, kind of all swirled around. There's no specific area or pattern that it goes with, which I like. Now there's some scales pretty good still showing here, so I want to make sure that I get some glitter on top of those scales. I'm going to use the absolute lightest color I have, which not the lightest color I have, but the lightest color I'm using in this mix here, which is the bubble gum. Okay, now we're going to come over here. Hold on. I'm trying to go to the back of the garage when I do this. So that I can lift the garage up. Okay, so first we're going to use Clear Gloss by Krylon. And then we're going to swap to the Matte Finish by Krylon. And then we're going to go back to the clear and then back to the matte. Okay, now when you spray this, you're going to spray about 12 to 15 inches away. And you're just going to spin it. You don't want to get it too close to your cup, or it will clump it up and it'll get really, really soft. Okay, so just little bits. Same thing with the matte. Spinning it on my hand while I'm doing it. And back to the gloss and back to the matte. If you get it too close to your cup and you get some funny like smudgy parts, you can always tap some of that light glitter that you're using in your mix. So like mine was the bubble gum. You can use that to fix those super glossy parts. If you see like some super glossy areas, you can always just throw some extra glitter on there. And then we're going to finish with the matte right here. Okay. Now that we're done spraying, we're going to let it sit for a couple hours. You can let it sit for as long or as short as you want. It's just all dependent on how you want to do it. You want to make sure that when you touch it though, that minimal amounts of glitter come off. Okay, you're still going to get glitter come off, but like right now, a whole bunch of glitter comes off. But whenever you do it, you want little bits of glitter to come off. Like barely any at all, okay? So the easiest way to sit this back down is to touch the bottom, because the bottom, no one's gonna look at the bottom, plus it's easily fixable. You just tap some more glitter on there and you're done. Set it by a heater, dries quicker. I have my space heaters. I have a couple of them. This one, Comfort Zone, Walmart, 15 bucks. I have another one by my Turner, Walmart, 15 bucks. I have one by my Turner and also by my other Turner, and then I also have a heat lamp. My epoxy curing time is about 4 hours with the light coats that I do, because we don't glob. I don't like globs. Don't like globbing epoxy. You ever made a cup that looks like an egg? You're a globber. Sorry guys, but a globber. And that's how you get the muffin tops at the top and everything else. Don't put globs on. I know I reiterate this like 27,000 times in my videos, but less is more. You can put more on, but you can't take it off. And that's just, you get less bumps, lifts, bubbles, all that fun stuff. Anyways, so I'm going to put mine on my Turner. Everybody asks me how I get it on my Turner while it's on my hand. So I'm going to show you guys right now why it's easy. I do touch the bottom to push it onto the football. It's easily fixable. Throw some extra glitter on there, no big deal. Even with epoxy, you can rub it around and smooth it out with your finger. You can sand that down, no one's going to notice. Just being honest, guys. So, let's see how I can sit this so you guys can see me. I have 4 different sizes of footballs. Dollar Tree, guys. Dollar Tree. I do let it rotate because rotating it, it just keeps it even. That's all. Okay, so when I put it on, put both hands in the cup like this, like you're trying to put on your shoe and it's snug over your foot. And I just push. Okay, if you want to get it on there a little bit better, just take your thumb print right straight in the middle, because my logo will cover it up when I go to epoxy it, and push it onto the thing. And wham bam, thank you ma'am. Okay, now I'm gonna put another one up here to even it out. Okay, and turn my turner on. And I'm just gonna let it turn while I go get more vinyl from Houston. I love my vinyl store, Nova Rhinestone Depot. It's awesome, it's amazing. Anyways, so that's where we got, that's where we're at. And we will be back here in a little bit to epoxy it and final coat and everything else, okay guys? And at that point we'll do my $1 million shine in 2 coats epoxy method. Alright, thank you, and I will be back shortly. Bye guys. Alright y'all, we're back. I've let my cup dry for a good while. I was gone for a few hours running errands, getting more vinyl and stuff. So now we're going to peel the scales off. Alright, sorry. My husband walked in and he saw me, or he heard me talking to myself. He didn't know who I was talking to. He thought I was just finishing a cup. So anyways, hold on one second, let me grab my tweezers. Okay, so to peel the scales off, you need your tweezers and a hook, or you can get them at Walmart if you don't have like a silhouette hook. You gotta have the one with the point on the end that's kind of sharp. Like the new silhouette hooks and the cricket hooks, they're really dull and they don't work very well, and they're more expensive too. It's stupid. But anyways, the really fine point, the sharpness, is what's gonna help you peel the stencil off without peeling your glitter off. So I already started at the top, so that's where we're going to start. I'm going to work a little bit way down, and then I'm going to stop the video and I'll come back to you guys once I get down further, because this is a long and somewhat pointless time frame that you guys have to sit there and watch me do the same thing over and over again, which this way you'll just see me skip to the next step. I have this little, the way that I'm able to sit it down without messing it up, I have this little silicone thingy. It's a silicone pot holder. I got it from Dollar Tree. I think I told you guys about it in a different video. But anyways, so you can still see the stencil right here, okay? And you're just gonna take your pointed deal and, like, I'm gonna start over here so I can show you guys how to do the first one. Find the top of your stencil, okay? Or find, just find the stencil itself. If you can see right here, if you take your pointed hook, and this is where the sharpness comes in and works really well. If you take your pointed hook and you just push it into the stencil, okay? It's like weeding out vinyl. You're going to take your pointed part of your hook and you're just going to pull it. And you see how it starts to come up right there? Okay? And that way you're not grabbing the glitter and you're not pulling your glitter off. And then you're just going to take it, and if you don't want to do it with your fingers, you can do it with tweezers. I do it with tweezers most of the time. Once you get one done, then it's really easy to keep pulling. Okay. just gonna go all the way around the cup. Now, with the matte and the clear sealer that we put on it earlier, it's hard. Okay, there's like barely any glitter that comes off on my hand. I don't even think you can really see it. Little bits here and there, but not very much. Not near what it was earlier when we were glittering it before I sealed it. Like I said, once you get the first one off, it's pretty easy. I like using the hook. I think it gets underneath the other part. And I have epoxied the black glitter that's underneath this, that the scales are. Okay, I already epoxied that, and I made sure it was really smooth. It doesn't have to be 2-3 coats smooth. It doesn't have to be finished smooth. It just has to be like you can sand it down and smooth it out. Just that way you don't have random bumps in your scales. If you have little bits of nail, you can always just use your nail and just grab at it. And you just peel them off. See? Comes off pretty easily as long as you've sealed it. If you haven't sealed it, or if you try and seal it with Mod Podge, I'm just gonna FYI tell you guys, it's going to come off in globs. The Mod Podge does not get hard enough. It does not seal it enough. And even if it does feel hard on the outside with the Mod Podge, after you start peeling, you're gonna feel the underneath and it's still soft underneath. Like, you have to let it sit there for 24 hours, sometimes 2 days, until it's completely hard all the way underneath. So I suggest not going Mod Podge, but everyone, to each is their own. Y'all, whatever you want to do is up to you. But if you want to get it right, you know, on the first try or whatever, which I never did with none of the videos that I do, by the way, I have perfected the technique with multiple trial and errors before I actually was able to get like this. Anyways, we're just pulling them off. Nothing fancy, nothing special. I'm just finding the vinyl, and that's why I said to do the light coat, like not to use too much glitter. And if you do use a lot of glitter, if you rather a lot of glitter, that's fine. Just make sure to use white stencil or a bright color, something that's gonna at least somewhat show through so you can see it. Once you've gotten 1 or 2, 3 pieces of the scales off, then you can usually pretty much tell where the next one is. Like, for instance, right here, you can't really, you know, you can't see the stencil, but you know it, if you placed your stencils the way I was showing you guys, you know that that stencil is going to be right there at the top. And so if I sit there and I go like that a little bit, then you can start to see it. Okay? Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple. I know that these are time consuming, which is FYI why I do charge a little bit extra for my mermaid cups, because the scales itself are super time consuming. Peeling them back off, super time consuming. So like my normal 30-ounce cups are usually between 53 and 56, depending. But I charge 58 to 65 for the 30 and 40-ounce glitter cups, or the mermaid cups. It really just depends on like how much different glitters they want on it. Like, do they want the stainless underneath, or do they want glitter underneath? You know, that kind of thing. So, but everyone charges their own different prices. Totally up to y'all. I mean, it's whatever you guys are going to charge, obviously. If you guys would like to know my actual pricing list, I have no problem sharing it with you guys. Just, you know, send me a Facebook message and ask me and I will tell you. I don't mind. Or you can always go on my website, facebook.com, or I'm sorry, that's my Facebook, but teambrandosdesign.com. That's my website, and you can see my pricing. I do a lot of like promos and discounts and stuff like that. So if you find that there's glitter that's like dropping into your scales, you can always blow on it or take one of these little paintbrush thingies and just brush it. Okay. If you feel your glitter start to come off more than what you'd like, you can always stop, put another coat of clear sealer, and then switch off to the matte sealer, and then back to the clear sealer. Do it the same way we did it the first time. Clear, matte. Do it that same way. Again, I don't know, something about that combo, just, it makes it hard, and, you know, usually works, but sometimes if it's your first time and you're afraid to put too much or whatever and you do too little, then you may need to go back and put some more. And you'll know if there's not enough sealer on there, because it will all start to fall off in your hand, and all of a sudden your glitter is like way lighter than it should be. Kind of like I have happen over here. I don't know if you can see right there. It started all coming off, so I stopped doing that down there. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and grab a couple of scales, stick them back on there, stick some more Loctite on there, and add a little bit more glitter. If you guys want, I'll do that right now and show you guys. I don't know. All I'm going to do is put a couple scales back on there. That's it. Back in those spots. That way that's not all glittered. Or your scales aren't glittered. So I'm just going to stick my scales back on there. I always have extras. Always cut extras, because they're not always perfect. Okay, so I just stuck my scales back on there. And find my Loctite spray.
Powering on.
I'm about out of it. Hopefully enough comes out right now. Sorry guys, hold on one sec. Okay. I just added some more glitter on there. I usually keep whatever comes off, like the mixture colors, or when they mix together on the plate or whatever. I keep it, and then that way I can use it later if I need to add some glitter. Alright, so I'm going to go spray this again, and then when I come back, I will have the scales taken off. Just keep going around and around and around. And like I said, if you have this issue down here, do that same thing. Just cut some extra scales. You know, the smaller ones are down here, the bigger ones are up here. Stick them on there. And spray and glitter right that just in that little tiny spot. Okay, guys? Alright, I will be back. Alright, y'all. So, excuse my exhaustion. I'm worn out. My nieces wear me out every day. But, okay, so we're back, and we've now peeled off all of our scales all the way around. And it looks beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to epoxy it. I wasn't going to do this part in the tutorial, but I'm going to go ahead and do it with you guys. I'm going to do the first coat of the epoxy in the tutorial, and then after that, if you guys want to look down a little bit, I'm not sure where it is on the list of my videos for the $1 million shine in 2 coats epoxy method that I do. It will explain the complete epoxy method that I use on this cup. On every cup. Usually takes 2 coats. I'm thinking that maybe it'll take 3 with this one because of the scales and because of the unevenness. But you never know. Hopefully it only takes 2. That'd be nice. Okay, so to start off, I use Pro Marine Epoxy. I buy it in the gallon things. So you got part A. I buy the pumps off Amazon. I bought the Pro Marine Epoxy off Amazon, and you can also buy it off of their promarinесupplies.com website as well. If you go to their Facebook page and request to join their group or whatever, you can get a discount code, I believe. So I use that. I use 3 pumps right now because it is thick, and I have my little silicone pinch cups. I have 3 pumps of part A and part B. If you use the Amazing Clear Cast, that's fine. And I used to do that, and I show it in my my mix method video. But I used to use the little syringes, and I would have used 3 teaspoons, so it would have been 15 milliliters, 15 ml, okay, of part A, and 15 ml of part B, or 3 pumps of part A and 3 pumps of part B. So now we've got it in the cup, and we're gonna mix it together with a little craft stick. I'm gonna first put some holographic glitter in there. I think I showed it earlier. I used the Tulip Fashion fabric glitter. It's the most iridescent I've found so far. I don't know if you can really see it in the light like that, but you can see it in here. So anyways, that's what I put in my epoxy to make the shine come back to the glitter. I'm just going to mix it for just about 30 seconds. Now if you're using the Amazing Clear Cast, you have to mix it for a little bit longer. The Pro Marine, I really don't have to very much. So I mix it up and let it sit for about a minute, not too long. I use the same craft stick though. I just set it on the side over here to let it rest. That way I save my craft sticks. I mean, I buy the packages of 150 of them. They're just little tiny ones. And I use one each time I do it. You can throw your first one away as well. I used to do that, but it doesn't seem to make much difference. I have taped off the inside of my cup, as I do with all of them. It's just the orange automotive paint tape. in the automotive section at Walmart. It's like $3.87 or something like that for the roll of it. And then I have my 2-inch silicone brush. Yes, guys, you can still use the small ones, as I mentioned in earlier videos. I just have found that the bigger ones put more on, which then cuts my, you know, processing time in half. But you can still use these ones as well. They're silicone brushes. I get them on Amazon. This one I got on Amazon. I got another one exactly like this at Hobby Lobby though. Amazon, they're like $8.67 or something like that, and you can get them Amazon Prime, so you get them really quick. As well as the smaller ones are on Amazon as well. Just type in your search bar 2-inch silicone paintbrush, and these will come up. There's a couple different colors of them. It really doesn't matter. There's a gray one, and there's a black one, and some other stuff too. So, got that, and then I've got my heat tool, which I need to get a new one. I've been saying that forever. Anyways, with this, I'm going to heat up my epoxy for just about 30 seconds, and I'm going to stir it while I'm heating it, okay? Not too close to the epoxy because you don't want to melt it or burn it. Now the reason I heat mine is to thin it out a good amount there. I think it makes it easier to get on there, and it gives you thinner coats. I don't glob. I think that globbing it and putting really thick coats just makes it more difficult to even out later, because as I say over and over again, you can add more, but to take it off, to take layers off, is pretty annoying, pretty time consuming, pretty painful, and we've already spent lots of time on this cup, so anyways, excuse me. Okay, so you dip your brush and just let it run on there. Now, with these, because there is a lot of glitter on there, you don't realize how much, you just want to lightly brush it on there, okay? Not only will lightly brushing it make the glitter not, like, blend into the other colors and blend into the rest of it or whatnot, it also allows the epoxy to get in all the little crevices by doing it slowly. You don't want to try and rush through this, because this is not something to rush. If you haven't rushed this far, then you don't want to rush the rest, especially the epoxying part. Now, it may sound like it's rushed, but it's not. But the way that I cure the cups, I have my garage here very warm. Like, it's warmer than my house, and right now in Texas, or in Houston area, it is, it's about, I think it's like 40 degrees here right now. Not too cold, but it is cold for Texas. So, I keep it pretty well hot in here, almost summer feeling. It's about 85 degrees in here, roughly. I have multiple space heaters, and then I also have a heat lamp that goes over the top of my cup spinner. For those of you without a cup spinner, a rotisserie, whatever you want to call them, you can hand turn. And I have a friend, good friend, who hand turns, and she's given me her process via text and pictures. So I'm happy to share that with you guys if you need it. Just message me on Facebook or email me, facebook.com/Teambrandos, or you can email me at support@teambrandosdesigns.com, and I will forward you her process. I don't know how she does it. I got too many things going on at once. I couldn't remember to hand turn even if I set alarms. Half the time I don't even pay attention to my alarms. I have 4 children, and I have 2 nieces that live with me, and my husband who's in the oil field, and my youngest son, he just got a very big honor. He was chosen to represent his elementary school at the Houston Livestock and Rodeo for his art project that he did. So that was pretty cool. So we have that going on, and then my other son just got asked to do honor choir, and then my other son is trying out for track, also does baseball, and then I've got my nieces all the time, and so I've got so much going on. I really trying to hand turn and remember to do all that. I think I would probably be anywhere but close enough to hand turn my cups when my alarm goes off if I tried to do that. I didn't start making cups until I made myself a spinner, and then my husband made my second spinner, so I have one for solid cups and one for glitter cups, because my glitter cups tended to drop little bits of glitter on my man cups. They didn't like that very much. They were pretty cool about it, but still would prefer not to have glitter on their cups. So as you can see, this 2-inch brush really splits the time in half, like for real, because I am just about to be done with this first coat. And oh my Lanta, there is the first coat of epoxy, guys. It's really pretty. Really pretty. Almost color shifts the way that we put the epoxy or the glitter on there. So anyways, that's your first coat of epoxy, and we're done with that. So we are going to close up this video, and if you want to see the rest of the $1 Million Shine epoxy method that I use, please scroll down and look for the $1 Million Shine 2-coat epoxy method, and watch that video, and it will give you the finishing directions. Thank you for sticking with me through this whole process. I know it's long and I know it's time consuming, but I promise your finished product will be beautiful. And remember guys, I didn't start this yesterday. I have been doing this. I've been doing cups for almost 2 years, and I have done multiple of these cups. I had multiple fails. Trust me, lots of them. Okay? So don't get discouraged if it doesn't come out perfect the first time. My first 20 million cups didn't come out perfect. Okay? I'm not lying. Like, probably the first 30 cups I did definitely didn't come out perfect. And my cups still don't come out perfect, and that's okay. It's all a learning process, and obviously you're wanting to learn more, or you wouldn't be watching videos. I love learning, and I still watch people's videos and try and find my own way to do things, and that's what I bring to you guys. So if the first one doesn't turn out perfect, that's okay. There's usually a way to fix it, And if you need help or you want to ask if there is, please message me. I'm always happy to give you my my advice, or what I've tried, or my tricks, or anything else that I haven't mentioned. And if there's not a way to fix it, again, don't be discouraged. Try it again, because nothing can be done without diligence and trying and trying and trying sometimes. So, go ahead and finish watching my $1 Million Shine Epoxy method, and please make sure to share and suggest to your friends. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is pretty awesome. My kid, he still talks crap because he couldn't get even like 5. And I've been only doing these 3 months. So, thank you to all of you guys for bringing me this far. It's given me a lot of confidence, and it's allowed me to really, really broaden my horizons. So, make sure to share and suggest and subscribe, and check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/Teambrandos, or also our Teambrandos Design group. If you search in the search bar Teambrandos, it'll show you our page and our group. And then our website is Teambrandos Design, no S on the end, .com. And please feel free to watch the rest of our videos here. Thank you so much, guys.